Hello loves, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down the new moon in Cancer moon that is happening tomorrow, so here we are. So yeah, we're gonna jump in and talk about it, talk about the energies, the tarot, the astrology, all of the things. Before we get started, do not forget to sign up for the soul purpose ceremony that we're going to be having on the 26th. It's going to be really amazing. I'm really excited to do some more soul work, not only in community with everybody, but just like having more soul work done, because I feel like a lot more people need to be doing more soul work. So I'm really excited to do that, and stay tuned for the workbook and everything that's coming out as well. All of those things coming out very soon. With that also being said, I also have a couple of different things that I recently launched. Due to me getting literally, like when I tell you guys, I got so many requests, emails, text messages asking to do like cord cuttings. So I decided that I'm going to provide a new service specifically to do Archangel Michael cord cuttings, which is something that I teach how to do within the Akashic Records 5-hour intensive. So that's going to be a new service because so many people ask me to do cord cuttings. I'm not surprised that a lot of people are seeking cord cuttings due to, you know, we're in Cancer seasons, a lot of things happening emotionally. So I'm not really surprised that it's happening, but due to high demand, your girl is just going to supply the demand. And so cord cuttings are now available as a service, as well as Kemetic Reiki certification for those who want to do Kemetic Reiki. It's going to be a class I'm teaching is entirely just Kemetic, with Kemetic knowledge, teachings, and how to work the energy, also how to work with the different Netrus and channel their energies with energy healing. It's going to be a really amazing course. I'm going to do it like every 3 months for that class as well. So the link of everything on my website will be down below. So yes, now with that being said, we're going to jump in and get started. We have a lot of things to talk about. So starting with, as always, we start with the planetary positions. Sun is in Cancer, Moon is in Cancer, Mercury and Venus are in Leo, Mars is in Virgo, Jupiter is in Taurus, Saturn is in Pisces in retrograde, Uranus is in Taurus, Neptune is in Pisces in retrograde, and Pluto is in Capricorn in retrograde. So definitely there's a lot of water in the chart. There's a lot of earth in the chart, obviously, and there's a little twang of fire, a little twang of fire in the air. So yes, the energy is definitely very potent, and very emotional, but also grounding at the same time. It's like an ebbing and flowing that's happening right now. There is a sun and a moon conjunction. So emotionally, we are feeling very emotional, but also our egos, we might be feeling a little bit more vulnerable during this period of time as well. Make sure you do a cleansing. I highly recommend y'all do a spiritual bath if y'all haven't already, and make sure you're cleansing your energy throughout this period, because one of the things that happens when, you know, it's a very water season, and then you have the sun in conjunction to the moon, like sun in Cancer, moon in Cancer energies, is like it's the emotions, like they peak. Keep in mind that this is a moon that is in its home placement, right? The moon rules Cancer, so this new moon is very, very potent, especially with the sun being in Cancer as well. So you might be feeling high emotions, you might be feeling vulnerable, you might be feeling depressed, like you might be dipping up and down. So just make sure your self-care routine is on point, and make sure you're taking a spiritual bath. Please take a spiritual bath, spend time in nature, spend time by the water if you can. If the weather gives, please spend some time by the water, and you know, try your best to connect with the water element as possible. The sun is also in a trine with Neptune, so really working with the water element, channeling through water, divination, literally even just taking a spiritual bath can change and shift so many different things because of that sun trine Neptune. And also dreams are also really very much at a high point. Pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to any type of divination that you do during this period of time, and try your best to listen to your intuition with whatever is saying, because your intuition is definitely triggered right now. The sun will be in opposition to Pluto, so there is a lot of ego transformation that's happening. There's also a lot of past life stuff that's been happening throughout this past couple of weeks. There's been a lot being channeled, like a lot of whether it's blockages, whether it's karmic issues that are like blocking your path that need to be resolved. There's a lot of that that's been happening the past couple of weeks. I've been seeing it in my sessions, like the past couple of weeks. And the sun in opposition to Pluto really highlights how your own ego and mentality, how your own inner child, how some parts of you is still needs healing on an ego level from other lifetimes. There's definitely a lot of transformation that's happening, and you might not even understand or know why certain things are happening the way they are, and it might be really, really frustrating. And for that, I recommend getting a past life reading. Just trust me, just get a past life reading, because more often than not, you're not gonna be able to get the answer anywhere else. When it comes to past life stuff, the only way to get the answer for past life stuff is to do past life work, or soul work, and get the session that you need. The moon will also be in a trine with Neptune, so emotionally, again, we're ebbing and flowing with water. The element you should be working with is water for everything. Make sure that you're doing your moon water for this particular new moon. Potent, okay? Potent. Do a couple bottles, honestly. I'm just saying, it's potent for this particular new moon. The moon is also in an opposition to Pluto as well. So emotionally, we're also feeling this transformation and this kind of these changes and kind of this direction that we're getting pushed through. There is a shift as far as like what direction you should be going in, what you should be doing, what is your purpose, why you should be doing what you be doing. There's definitely a layered feeling towards how you are evolving, how you are transforming, how things are being shifted. One of the things I said earlier in this year is that the summertime, is going to be the midway point checkpoint for the year. Okay, this is going to be the midway checkpoint, and the energies are going to force you to check in and say, okay, what have you been working on? What have you been doing? What is, what baggage is still holding on? What is it that's holding you back? All of those type of things are, that's what's being highlighted right now. Mercury will be in a square with Jupiter. Be very mindful with communication when it comes to taking things. The keyword is over exaggerating. Okay, you know how sometimes when we're talking about certain things and we just kind of be like, we say the worst thing, we just be like, oh my god, this is like the worst, or blah, 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 or it's always the worst, or this is always bad, or blah blah blah, and we just be like, we just be saying stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry, words are spells. Don't be doing that for this new moon. This is not the moon to do that. Don't do it. This is not the moon to do that, because Mercury is also in a square with Jupiter, and your words can literally manifest in a very frustrating ways that can literally, because Jupiter's in Taurus and it's within the physical realm, you can literally F yourself over real bad. Okay, so be very, very mindful of your communication, your thoughts, the things that you say carelessly. Okay, this is not the time. It's not the time. I'm sorry. It's not the time. Go cleanse, go connect with water, work with your emotions, self-care, self-love, put on a movie, eat some ice cream, whatever it is that you need to do. But you need to make sure that when you're speaking, even if you're having conversations with other people, you're not saying the worst of the worst of the worst. And just to say, or just to even initiate or instigate a fight or instigate something or emotions from somebody else, because you will literally, it will blow up in your face and you're not gonna like it. Just trust your girl. Just trust. Venus will be in conjunction with Mars. Really fun time, really good time for some sensual witchery, okay? To work with your sacral space. Okay, especially because it's a Leo, okay? If you need a way to release some of all of the emotional energies that you are working, you have on you, highly recommend working with your sacral space, especially for manifestation. Water, okay? Work with water, and also your sacral space is connected. It's connected to Scorpio energy, water energy. You can do some things, okay? You can do some things. If you wanted to do some manifestation, I recommend doing, again, take a spiritual bath. Honestly, if I were y'all, I would just do a straight up like sensual ritual, and just focus on visualization, focus on, manifestation, and also feeling good. Feeling good is important. So make sure you focus on your self-care. The Leo is going to be searching for pleasure, and you're going to need to make sure you're taking care of yourself and your ego through this very high emotional time. So don't neglect your self-care. Venus will be in a square with Uranus, okay? So there can be a little bit of chaos when it comes to some relationships. There could be some endings, okay? For some people, you can see some endings. You can see some removal of blockages. You can, you know, feel some chaos. Some arguments can happen as well. There could be like, again, high emotions where somebody says something that like they didn't want to say, or it's like they didn't mean it, but they said it anyway. And it just like leads to a really big like shift, change. So this is what I'm saying, just be careful with your words. You don't want to blow things up out of proportion, because Jupiter's gonna be like, oh really, bet, oh, everything you just said, I'm gonna make it 10 times worse. You don't want to do that. Jupiter may be like a cute luck, abundance, philosophy, travel planet, but it expands positive and negative energies, and you best believe, but look at the strikes that are happening right now. Look at the strikes that are happening right now surrounding fair pay and money. What does Taurus rule? Money. Uranus has been in Taurus for a few years now, right? And then Jupiter goes into Taurus, and all of a sudden there's all of these strikes going on. There's all these focuses on money and fair pay. Okay. Yeah, be very mindful of how you just like carelessly talk. You don't want to get it, you know. But there is, like with that Venus square Uranus, there is a window to kind of to basically say some crazy stuff, and that leads to some crazy stuff. So you just want to make sure that your words are thoughtful, okay? If you do see some changes in your relationship, you might see some endings in relationship as well. There is definitely unnecessary chaos that's happening. But Uranus is like, get wrecked. This has been needed to happen. So whatever happens during this period of time, pay attention to the fact that it's happening. Don't just try to like, oh, I don't want to like pay attention to don't run away from what's happening, but like pay attention to what's happening. It's important to like why it's happening, why it needs to happen at this time, like all of those things. Mars is also in an opposition to Saturn, so you best believe that your actions have consequences, and there's a little bit of hint of karma with Saturn at play surrounding your actions. So again, you say something carelessly, you're gonna pay for it. You do something carelessly, you're gonna pay. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna be mad. Don't say things carelessly. When we look at the cards, hilariously, the cards are very, very telling. So we have the Knight of Cups, we have the Five of Pentacles, and then we have the King of Cups, okay? So there's like a hint of not only financial issues, but also like loneliness and being alone, and like whether or not wanting to be alone or not, and feeling like you don't want to be alone. It's like you'd rather put up with stuff than be alone in a way. That's when we come into the Two of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and then the Seven of Cups in reverse. For some of you, you guys know you need to end something that's been needing to end for a long time. But it's like there's an aspect of being alone and putting yourself in a different situation. There's like, it's almost like your groundedness, mind you, like only Pentacle, that card that came out in this reading was the Five of Pentacles, right? Your groundedness is almost like lost. It's almost like, if I do this, it's gonna cost me everything kind of vibe. And so some of you are really afraid of that change and feel like that's the main like restriction. But we have the outcome. We have the Eight of Swords and the Sun. Once we move into Leo season, things are going to lighten up quite a bit, especially because the Sun is in its home sign. It's Leo season tends to be a vibe, even though the retrogrades and Venus is going retrograde. But Leo season still tends to be a vibe. It still tends to be like a fun time, generally speaking. So some of those restrictions are going to come off a little bit. But a lot of the issues and the where you feel blocked, the decisions that you feel like you can't make, you feel like you know what you need to do, but you don't want to do it because you're scared, because you don't want to be alone, because you don't want to like make that move, and then it just like takes everything from you. I get it. I totally get it. But at the end of the day, you got to be happy. At the end of the day, like, if you're not happy, why are you doing anything? If you're not in a happy relationship, why are you in it? If you're not in a job that makes you happy, why are you doing it? At this point, you have to realize that you are responsible for yourself, and you do have to make yourself happy. And these restrictions that you have set upon yourself are either going to make you miserable, and you're going to have to find ways to cope with it, or you're going to have to release them. Okay. So we have feelings, dreaming, and breaking free. Because like I said, things are being released. Then we have move forward and abundance. So like I said, there's this energy of like the sun is shining on the other side. Once you come out of it, you're gonna be fine. But there's that energy of like what's coming next. The room you're making is, it's gonna be a really important shift. It's actually gonna make you happier. I also pulled out 2 cards for like the romance, and we got deception, and then we have worth waiting for. There's someone, if it's for those who are like in a relationship twin, there's someone that's meant to come in next. This is why you're having issues with the relationship that you're having now, because they're meant to come in next. So again, some things you just have to accept. It is what it is. Now we also have gracefully aging, retirement, because again, there's a release happening. There's like something that's like, it's a closure, it's a release. It's like, it needs to move on. It can't continue the way it is. And then we have new career. So for some people, it's not going to be like a relationship wise. Some people it's going to be like a job, or maybe you're starting a new business. For our Archangel Michael, we have make a commitment, and prayer will help the situation. So there's a sense of like, commit yourself to this thing that you want to work on, the future, this thing that you know in your heart of hearts is going to make you happy. Commit to it. Do it. Do it. You're not going to ever able to see any progress if you don't do it. Do it. Okay. Not to sound like a Nike ad, but just do it. Anyway, so that is the breakdown. I hope you guys got all of the messages that y'all needed. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for being here, for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe to my new YouTube channel, which is called The Sirens Library, where I post all of my nerdy bits. And yeah, the link will be down below. I love you guys so much. Have a very blessed day. Bye.